Okay, so back in this video, we're going to talk about introductions and the syllabus. So, when I was a student, I always liked to hear a little bit from my professors, to know a little bit about them, to kind of know where they were coming from, what their frame of mind was, and all those types of things. So we'll start out talking about introductions, and then we'll kind of move on to the syllabus and kind of step through that and talk about what some of the expectations are. As far as who I am, I'm from North Texas. I grew up in Denton, Texas, just north of Dallas-Fort Worth. Went to school there, went to the University of North Texas for 4 degrees. My undergrad was in management. I got an MBA in Business Computer Information Systems, an MS in Information Technology, and a PhD in Business Computer Information Systems. My first year out, or first year after my doctorate, I went to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, to Bloomsburg University, and taught there 1 year in a visiting professorship. And it was an interesting place. Kind of enjoyed some of the Italian food. Unfortunately, the Mexican food wasn't quite up to snuff. After that, I moved to Portales, New Mexico, where I taught there for 1 year, Eastern New Mexico University, in a tenure track position. And it was a little bit closer to home, but you know, they make more Mexican food than they do Tex-Mex, and that's really what I started to realize. It's not so much Mexican food, it's Tex-Mex that I was missing. So I had an opportunity to come here to Tarleton at the end of my first year there at Eastern, and I jumped at it, and I've been here ever since, about 3-4 years now, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm glad I'm here. As far as myself, my personal life, I'm married to my best friend. She and I met when we were in junior high. I went to junior high, went to high school, and all that kind of stuff. And we actually caught up a few years ago on Facebook, and kind of got reunited that way. And between us, we've got 4 kids. 2 of them are in college. They're at the University of North Texas there in Denton, and our youngest 2 are both in high school now. So that's pretty much it for me in a nutshell. As far as the syllabus, we're back here. We should be in familiar territory here. This is our Blackboard shell. The video that I created a few minutes ago will be here in just a few minutes, and the one that I'm creating right now will be over here in the introductions and syllabus. And so you'll be able to watch this video there once I get it uploaded and posted. As for the syllabus itself, it's right over here, so if you click on that link, you can go ahead and open that up. And as I mentioned earlier, our syllabus is within a Google Doc. It seems fitting. We're talking about social media, we're talking about the cloud, all that stuff that's out there for us to use and utilize. Might as well put all this stuff in the cloud and use it as much as possible, and that's what I'm doing. So here is our syllabus. It's a topics course, meaning that the topic can be different each semester, each time this class is taught. Fortunately, I was able to convince everybody that we got to try a social media class, and I was interested because I wanted to learn as much as I could about it, so here we are. There is no face-to-face meeting time or place or anything like that. It's an online class, so you get through class as fast as you can, or kind of at your own leisure, but just don't fall too far behind. As far as myself, there's my name. I'm an assistant professor. My email. I really prefer you not to send it to my regular email. It's H.Schuessler@tarleton.edu. As long as it's not course related, feel free to send me messages there. But if it's course related, I want you to send me messages within Blackboard. Blackboard is our learning management system. It's our official LMS, and it allows me to keep all the course related material in one place. So that's really where I want you to send course related messages. What do you guys think of my graphic up there? Did you kind of like that? Kind of MySpace and kind of evolved all the way to Google Plus. I think it's pretty neat. Anyway, our textbook is here. It was really hard finding a good social media textbook. This is one I found. The reason I chose it, the part that I really liked about it, was really the very last chapter and the appendix, which helped to illustrate everything that goes into a social media marketing plan. and that's what I really liked about this text. So that's why I chose it, and that's really kind of the focus of the semester. So even though chapter, I think it's 15, even though it's the last chapter, you may want to kind of skip ahead and be familiar with that as you're working on the group projects, because that really kind of drives what the expectations are in terms of the group projects. Course description, students' introduction to various social media solutions. Social media such as Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, blogging, etc. are technologies that enable individuals to create, collaborate, and share messages with audiences of all sizes. And so we're going to talk about how to leverage those to create some sort of an advantage, whether it's in the classroom, it's for a business, it's for an organization, whatever it happens to be. There are no prerequisites for this course. Some of the goals that I identified when creating the class, hopefully you'll be able to identify some of the key characteristics of various social media tools. In other words, they're not all the same. Some are better suited for certain things and less suited for other things. So that's really kind of one of the goals, is to start thinking about these different social media tools that are out there and how they might serve a particular purpose. Skills outcomes, you're going to be working with some of these social media solutions, online, and creating profiles and all that kind of stuff, linking things, finding tools, finding other tools and other stories about social media, and sharing those with your peers. I usually like to provide stuff from the Bureau of Labor Statistics about the professions that a particular course is kind of geared towards. For example, if it's a networking course, I want to find information about networking from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and post that information here in this section of my syllabi. Unfortunately, there's not a lot for social media experts. It doesn't exist yet, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I did, however, find this from Robert Half online. It kind of gives you a description of some of the different types of jobs that exist out there for social media, social networking professionals. If you're in the market for a job, a new job, or you want to move on to a different job and utilize some of your newfound skills, I would highly recommend that you contact the Career Services. Alana Hefner is the director over there, and they do some really neat things over there with things like video resumes. They create a video resume, they ask you a series of questions, they really kind of jazz it up, they go through the editing process and make it look really nice. And flow really smoothly, and it looks really sharp. And it's a way to kind of differentiate yourself from some of your peers. They also help you with things like mock interviews. They help you develop your resume, as well as post things, post jobs. Organizations come to the Career Services Center when they're looking to fill positions, and so they have a listing of positions that are open as well. If you're in this class, regardless of your major, you have access to the Microsoft Academic Alliance, or as it's now known, DreamSpark. And so after the first week of class, the add drop period of class, you should receive an email at your official email address, and that will allow you to register with DreamSpark, and then you can download all this software for free. Now, they don't have everything that Microsoft offers, but they do offer an awful lot of software. Microsoft Visio, for example, Microsoft Project, a whole host of operating systems. There's just an awful lot that they offer, so be sure and take advantage of that. There's some really cool stuff there. As far as the course deliverables, this is the stuff that usually everybody's interested in, they want to know about. Course deliverables are the things that you got to turn in and that you get your grades for. So it's going to be, your grade's going to be a composite of your individual performance on assessments, assignments, participation opportunities, or the discussion boards, your component of a semester project, and the exams. If you have an issue with one of your grades, you've got a week to shoot me a message and let me know and tell me exactly what it is that's wrong. I certainly make mistakes, so if you catch me, let me know. I'll get it corrected. Assessments are essentially quizzes. There's chapter quizzes that are really not designed to assess your understanding of the material as much as they are designed to make sure you're staying current in your reading. So they're meant to be short and sweet and just kind of keep you current. There are 5 true-false questions per quiz. You're limited to 5 minutes, so you get a minute per question. That makes each question worth 4 points for a total of 20 points. Usually students hate these quizzes. They absolutely hate them. So my recommendation is to read the material first, review the PowerPoints, review the discussion boards, post any questions that you might have, and do all of that before you take the quizzes. And that's kind of my recommendation. You're in luck in the sense that there are 15 chapters, but there are 16 quizzes. There's quiz 0. Quiz 0 is a quiz over the syllabus, so that should be a pretty easy quiz grade to score high on. At the same time, I drop your lowest 3 quiz scores. Usually I drop your lowest 2, but there are so many chapters in this text, even though they're kind of short. There are 15 chapters, so there's 15 chapter quizzes. I drop your lowest 3 quiz scores, so if you have a technology issue, if you happen to miss one, you forget, if something else happens, don't freak out too much about it. You can make those, or you can't make them up, but you can improve your grade because those 3 lowest quiz grades are dropped. So don't stress over it too much. As for assignments, all the assignments are posted in Blackboard. There's a total of 5, including assignment 0. Assignment 0 is an easy one. That's the information sheet that you fill out. Fill out that information sheet, do the stuff that it asks for, and there's your points. As for the rest of the assignments, those are already all posted in Blackboard. You're going to be registering for specific social media sites and adding to those and sharing those and all that type of stuff. And those are the ones that carry more weight. Participation is next. Those are the discussion board postings that we talked about in the previous video. There's also that pre-test and post-test. Again, don't stress over those. They're only worth 5 points. If you do it, you get the points. If you don't do it, you don't. It really doesn't matter how well you do, though I do want you to do your best on both of them. So I've got an accurate assessment of what you know coming in and how much you know going out. As for the semester project, we talked about that in the Blackboard shell as well, but there's some additional kind of general information here if you want to take a look at it, and talks about the groups and APA formatting and all that type of stuff. There's also the writing center down here. If English is not your first language, especially if you're working in a group, try to get your sections done early. Go work with the writing center. Hopefully they can help you improve your work, and you can share that then with the rest of your group. As for exams, there's 2 exams. There's a midterm and a comprehensive final exam. The exams, this is a graduate level class. There are some multiple choice questions or multiple guess questions. There may be some short answers, but really for the most part it's going to be multiple choice and essay questions. I expect you to be able to think about social media within an organizational context, so you need to be able to think through applying some of these things. When I talk about essay questions on these exams, I'm not talking about a dissertation, but a third of a page, a half page, something like that, in terms of being able to respond to the question. As for the weights of the assignments, or the totals for all the assignments, the quizzes are worth a total of 260 points if my math is working correct. There's 15 chapters, so there's a total of 16 quizzes, counting quiz 0. So, excuse me. So that's dropping your lowest 3. So if my math is correct, that should be 260 points. The assignments are worth a total of 340 points. Assignment 0 being 20, everything else being worth 80. Participation is worth 100, with the pre-test and post-test each worth 5, and then everything else worth 22.5 points. The first rough draft of the semester project worth a total of 25 points. The first revision is worth 75 points, and the final revision is worth 300 points. Then the midterm's worth 300, and the final exam is worth 400. And hopefully, if everything added up properly, it should be a total of 1,800 points for the class. As for late assignments, I don't take late assignments. Everything is posted in Blackboard, so you have plenty of opportunity to work ahead a little bit, and I encourage you to do so. I wouldn't suggest working too far ahead because you really want to remain cohesive with the rest of the class as much as you can. But I think it's also a good idea to work a little bit ahead just in case you happen to have some sort of a glitch, somebody gets sick or something like that. You want to be able to build in that flexibility because I don't take late assignments. As for student expectations, again, this is a graduate class. You all know what's expected. You do your work and everything's going to be fine. I expect you to check Blackboard at least once a day. I frequently make updates and post things and announcements and all that kind of stuff. And you kind of got to be aware of what's going on. If you got a personal issue, shoot me an email and let me know. When you're sending emails, be professional, use proper English, use good subject lines, all that kind of stuff. As for academic dishonesty, unfortunately, even at the graduate level, it does happen to the point that we have to actually have an academic honesty statement and a policy on file. And so that's right there. So basically, don't cheat. It does happen. People do get caught, and there are repercussions. So just don't let it happen to you. If you have some sort of a disability, I'm not qualified to be able to make any sort of an accommodation. You'll need to contact the Center for Access and Academic Testing. Whatever they recommend is what I'm going to do. They're the experts in that area, and I'm going to take their advice. Whatever I think technically we don't actually have to follow their recommendations. There are certain ways around that, but I've always followed their recommendations. That's just that's what they do. They're experts in that area, and so I follow their advice. The syllabus concludes with essentially our semester schedule, and even though it's tentative, I can change it and all that kind of stuff. I usually try to use this as a roadmap, and I follow it pretty closely and try to stick to it. So you use that information for what it's worth. This is one of the more important areas of the syllabus. So here we've got our various dates. So it starts out on each Monday is the first date that's posted, and then Sunday is the second date that's posted. That's true for each week with the exception of down here because of finals. The finals week kind of changes things up a little bit. But for this first week, these are the topics that we're covering. We're going to, anybody needs to introduce themselves, and we can kind of do that back and forth. And if you have any questions about the syllabus, we can work those out. Because it's only an 8-week sort of semester, it's a condensed semester relative to even what our normal summers are, which used to be at 10 weeks. We really kind of hit the ground running. So Chapter 1, we're covering the very first week of class, which is a condensed week in and of itself. And I'll have to correct this date too. That's not quite right. Anyway, I'll do that in just a second. As for what's due, everything is due at 9:30 on the Sunday of the week in which things are due. So I'll use this one as an example. 6/22 on 6/22, all the stuff that's right here is due by 9:30 that Sunday. So the very first assignment is due. The very first rough draft is due, and quizzes 2 and 3 are due. And that's the week that we also covered chapters 2 and 3. So keep that in mind. That's the stuff that is going on. So let's see, 11 through 15. That's what I did. I actually moved some stuff around here. So let me correct this real quick. There we go. So we're back to where we were on that. So this very first week, we're again, like I said, we're hitting the ground running. We've got the assessment, which should be easy, but that's due the very first week. We've got the assignment 0, which is also due the very first week. That should also be very easy. Just fill out that form, create a Google Doc, a Google folder that you share with me, all that type of stuff. But that really should be pretty easy. There's quiz 0 over the syllabus. That should be pretty easy and straightforward. The only one that really has any meat to it is quiz 1, and that's because you got to spend some time reading the first chapter and to be able to be prepared for that. So that is pretty much it. That's the end of the syllabus. I am really looking forward to this semester, and kind of really hope that you guys are too, and I hope you're looking forward to it. It's like I said, this is a topics class. It's something I was really interested in. I really wanted to have the opportunity to teach this class and learn as much as I can about social media. So hopefully some of you guys are coming to the table with your own set of skills and will be open about sharing those and participating in class, and we can kind of all learn from each other. I know that just in putting this class together, I've managed to learn a few things about some of these different tools and techniques and technologies, and I think it's something that holds a lot of promise for a lot of different people in different industries. So I'm really looking forward to getting into the semester. If you have any questions, by all means shoot me an email. Let's start talking about it and get it figured out. Take care.